In global military rankings, we often hear the same names: America, Russia, China. But just below the surface is a country reshaping the battlefield quietly, yet decisively: Turkey. With advanced drones, a massive standing army, overseas bases, and combat experience across 3 continents, Turkey is no longer just a NATO ally. It's a rising military force with global ambitions. So how powerful is Turkey's military really? And how does it compare to today's leading military powers? Let's take a closer look. Turkey has the second largest military in NATO after the United States. It has an active personnel of around 445,000 troops, around 380,000 reserves, and a total military-aged population of over 35 million. That's larger than the militaries of the UK, France, and Germany combined, and it completely dwarfs regional rivals like Iran with 575,000 troops, Israel with around 170,000, and Greece with around 140,000 troops. Turkey's military is structured across 5 branches: the Army, Navy, Air Force, Gendarmerie, and Coast Guard. The Gendarmerie alone has more personnel than Israel's entire army. But size isn't everything. It's how that force is used that matters. And this is where Turkey begins to stand out. Unlike many Western militaries, Turkey's military has been actively engaged in real combat over the past 2 decades. It's not just a showpiece force, it's battle-tested. In Syria and Iraq, Turkey involved in dozens of cross-border operations targeting ISIS and Kurdish separatists. In Somalia and Qatar, Turkey maintains permanent bases with active training sessions. And most recently in Azerbaijan, Turkey provided critical drone support during the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war. This means Turkish commanders have hands-on experience with asymmetric warfare, urban combat, drone-targeted strikes, and real-time logistics under pressure. Compare that to Russia, which is bogged down in Ukraine, or China, which hasn't fought a war since 1979. Even the US military, though powerful, hasn't fought a peer adversary in over 30 years. In 2024, Turkey's military budget was around $25 billion. That's small compared to the US's own military budget of $877 billion, or China's at $296 billion, and Russia's at $109 billion before sanctions. But here's what's interesting. Turkey has poured its budget into domestic defense production. 20 years ago, Turkey imported over 80% of its defense gear. Today, it builds over 70% of it at home. That includes tanks, armored vehicles, missiles, rifles, warships, and most famously, combat drones. Companies like Bayraktar, Aselsan, Roketsan, and TAI have become global players. Let's talk drones, the crown jewel of Turkey's defense industry. The Bayraktar TB2 changed modern warfare. Used in Syria, Libya, and Ukraine, It proved a low-cost, high-impact solution that can destroy tanks, command centers, and radar installations. Even Ukraine credited TB2s with delaying Russian advances in 2022, and Azerbaijan used them to flip the balance against Armenian forces in 2020. The Bayraktar TB2 operates at 24,000 feet, has 27-hour endurance, and 4 smart munitions. Akıncı, which is a heavy combat drone, is capable of carrying cruise missiles, while the Kızılelma, which is a jet-powered UCAV, is Turkey's entry into next-gen drone warfare. Compare that to the US Reaper drones, more powerful but far more expensive, and China's Wing Long, which lacks the same combat record. Turkey is the only country besides the United States to have built a drone doctrine from factory floor to battlefield success. Turkey's military isn't just defensive, it's globalizing. With permanent bases in Qatar, Somalia, northern Cyprus, and training missions across the Balkans and Central Asia, Turkey now has one of the largest military footprints in the Muslim world. Through soft power, arms exports, and military training deals, Turkey is slowly turning into a regional hegemon, a force that balances against Iran, checks Russian interests in the Caucasus, and fills the vacuum left by Western retreat in the Middle East. This global strategy, combined with a growing navy and next-gen drone carriers, points to one thing: long-term military ambition. Turkey may not be the biggest spender, it may not have nuclear weapons or stealth bombers, but its combination of manpower, combat experience, drone supremacy, and independence from foreign arms makes it one of the most effective and underestimated militaries in the world. In the next decade, Turkey could rise as a top 10 military power, not through domination, but through precision, reach, and strategic patience. Let me know in the comments, is Turkey becoming a true military superpower, or is this just regional muscle flexing? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow Nothing Too Crazy for more deep dive documentaries on the powers shaping our future. See you next time, and thank you for watching.